zeros of all things metal. I'm Matt. I'm Jeff.
Welcome back to the Bleghcast, the ones and zeros of all things metal. I'm Matt.
And I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to be covering Silverstein and Origami Angel. Sorry, that took a hot second. Because I think a Gami gang.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's like everywhere on that. Yeah. Silverstein is Misery Made Me, and Origami Angel is Gami Gang.
Yes.
The name is funny.
Yes.
And we're also, anybody who's listening on Spotify, the normal podcast outlets, we're also filming this one. So if you feel like watching along with us, just go to our YouTube channel, the Bleghcast Reacts, and you can watch the episodes along with listen to it. And for the YouTube video section, we also include, like, when we do our timestamp things, you can hear what we're listening to, because normally, like, on our episodes, you can't hear it because for fear of like
being taken down from
getting
Spotify,
taken down from like Spotify because of copyright stuff. YouTube allows you to use like copyright material as long as it's for like, review and whatever. So if you want to listen along with whatever we're listening to while we do the episode, it's a nice feature exclusive to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
So we're going to start off with Silverstein, Misery Made Me. What do you think? We're both like fans of Silverstein.
Old Silverstein.
Older Silverstein.
Yeah, I don't think I've listened to him in
that long.
Yeah, I need to go back and I can't remember Shipwrecks in the Sand. No. I need to actually look back at their whatever you call it, the discography. Nope.
I hate how Spotify does this.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Oh my God. Singles and groupings and whatever. EPs that aren't EPs and like, God.
And I only know when I stopped listening to him by the album art. So please hold.
Shipwreck was 2009. Discovering the Waterfront was 2005. I think they're like real popular ones, aren't they?
Those are the two that I listened to. Shipwrecked in the Sand. Yeah. Because then they released Transitions.
Which doesn't sound familiar to me.
Decade. Which is a bunch of live stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Either way. So 2009 is when I stopped listening to them. So I'm sure they definitely changed a lot from when I was listening to them back in high school.
Yeah. They definitely changed their sound a lot over the years. I always liked them. It was never like a favorite band of mine. Like I always would pick up the new CD when it came out. There was always like a couple tracks on there that really got me, but it's never one of those bands that like I would always like keep coming back to.
Yeah.
So since you haven't listened to them in a while, this sound is pretty.
It's out
different,
there.
Like 180 from what they used to be. There's still some like heaviness in there. It's a lot. I think it's like a lot poppier, more like radio friendly than what they have been in the past. So I mean, in terms of Misery Made Me, like, what'd you think of this newer sound?
I wasn't not a fan of it.
Okay.
Like it
kind of right down the middle.
Yeah, it was kind of like just baseline for the most part for me. Like there was some like sometimes the pop was just too poppy and I couldn't get into it, but then there was
Our Song is pretty poppy.
Yeah.
The intro one.
But then like one of my favorites was the Altar / Mary.
Yeah.
And which is strange because it's like heavy and then it has this like real like poppy like kind of hymny type vibe to it in the middle towards the end. And
that's the way they end the song with that like synthy singing and stuff. Yeah. I loved that ending.
I really dug that, but then like you go up to like Ultraviolet and it was just kind of a little too poppy for me.
Yeah.
And like they weren't bad songs. I listened to it probably 4 or 5 times, I think, all the way through. But it and then I chose my favorites and whatnot. But it was real poppy. And you said they did something. They said that they were experimenting a lot with this album, didn't you? Didn't you send me that? You sent.
If I did, I don't remember that.
You sent me a text message like that you read that they were experimenting, and you're like, I'm afraid for this album because whenever a band says they're experimenting, it's hardly ever good. I do remember that. Yeah, it was. I didn't even read the article or anything. It was. I didn't hear any songs by them when I sent you that. I think I just screenshotted it. I do remember sending that. Yeah. Whenever a band's always like, we're experimenting, I was like, you know, it was an experiment. Overall, I had a couple favorites, but overall as like an album, as an entity by itself, I liked it. Okay, I can agree with that.
Yeah. Like when you listen to it beginning to end, I'm like, yeah, all right, that was enjoyable.
It's kind of over quick, even though it's not. How long was it?
I think it was like 37. 30, yeah. It was 35, 37, something like that.
Only 2 minutes long. Okay. Yeah.
Pretty, straight to the point.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Gami Gang. I was like, it was a little long. That was a little long for me.
20 songs.
We'll get to them in a minute. Not to get too far into that, but in the Spotify bio for Origami Angel, it did say it was a double album.
Oh.
So I don't know if it was actually like 2 albums and they just released it as one, or if they mean double album just because it had 20 songs, it like would be the equivalent of like 2 albums. I don't know. They didn't go into it. I didn't do any research on that, but it was pretty long.
Yeah.
A little long-winded there. But so back to Silverstein. I kind of like both. I sometimes I'm in the mood for like their old sound, and then every once in a while, I know I've heard some of their songs on the radio before. Mm-hmm. Like Massachusetts was one of the songs.
Yeah,
from like
like Shipwreck.
No, that one's was from like 2015, I think, or 2013. It was like when they started turning into their poppier sound.
Yeah. Sure.
It was the first track on
there's an album with a train wreck that for whatever reason I didn't see. Because there was Shipwreck, which was the house burning, and then
So I am alive in everything I touch. Midwestern State of Emergency. I like that one. So that one's 2015.
Yeah.
And then Massachusetts was 2013.
Oh, okay.
I remember that one.
Maybe that's when I stopped listening to them. Because I remember Massachusetts.
Okay. This is how the wind shifts.
Where is... this song, Arrivals and Departures.
Oh,
that's
yeah, that's a good one.
I think this is the album that got me hooked onto them. Yeah, My Disaster, Sound of the Sun, Body and Word.
Shut up about the sun. There's been a sun theme. We did Sun Eater today. It's one of our React videos from Lorna Shore.
Yeah.
So,
anything else? Just about the generalness. The generality.
I just remember the first time I listened through, I really enjoyed it. The first time I listened to it, like really enjoyed it, and then after that, not that I didn't not enjoy it, like you said, like I did not like it. It was just kind of like, yeah, all right,
yeah.
It didn't have that same like punch that the initial listen through, but I do remember very distinctly, loving the altar Mary, the way that one ended, and. I was debating on whether to send this to you earlier because the way that one ends with the synthy singing. Have you heard the songs "Hide and Seek" by Imogen Heap?
No.
It's like it's only her singing, but she does a thing. I don't know how they do it. but they do a thing where like they hook like a keyboard up to like a microphone or something. And when she's singing, she plays chords with the keyboard.
I've seen something like that before.
And it like creates like harmonies of her own voice, even though she's only singing like one vocal part, but it creates that fullness, and it reminded me of that.
I've seen that before. Not like that thing in particular, but I've seen that done. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah, so it just reminded me of that because some of those like vocal lines that he did, he got like real high at one point. I was like, oh, that sounds like something that a keyboard would be able to do real quick, you know? So the Altar Mary, that was one of my favorite songs for that reason, the way that it ended. I remember really liking that.
Yeah.
Now in the past, I've always said that like, I'm not really much of like a lyrics guy. Like I appreciate nice lyrics, but it's not what grabs me. But in our song, it was the first line of the album. I'd rather die than learn my lesson. That just stuck with me for some reason. I like that delivery and that line.
It's kind of like the whole like definition of insanity, where like you do the same thing expecting a different outcome type. Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna keep doing it, even if it kills me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, it's hard to see usually I bold face these songs. So it's kind of hard to see, but I had three favorites. And then Die Alone wasn't exactly a favorite of mine, but I liked there's a part with like a bunch of heavy chords in it.
I got the same note.
Oh, really? Is it 122?
I put like 120 just because I didn't catch where it exactly was at. I said that saved the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Die Alone.
Because I was like, I wasn't really feeling it. And then like at 120, it was like the first time, or like the second time I listened to Cyberhex, because I didn't like Cyberhex at all the first time I heard it. But then like I started to grow the appreciation for like the dynamic of how it grew as a song in total, and that's kind of how Die Alone was. I was like, this is like kind of bad. I don't like this. And then like that heavy chords hit, and I said, okay. So then you kind of grow this appreciation for like the dynamic of starting soft and have that poppy, and then all of a sudden you get these heavy chords coming in.
Yeah.
At 120. Ooh,
you know. This one was almost like I think it was like all screaming, and it was like almost like had that like a punk kind of feel ish to it. Like
like 122. Yeah, there's
it almost sounded like a Under Oath. You remember Disambiguation?
Yeah, kind of. Oh yeah, I can really. Yeah, it really sound. I can hear that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I think it kind of goes through. I think it kind of goes through the whole rest of the song too.
Yeah, I think it kind of ends that way.
Just jump. Yeah, it stays kind of at that heavy tone, faster.
So I was mistaken. There was singing in this one. I don't know. For some reason, maybe I just kind of blanked out or something. But yeah.
That ending kind of reminds me of like old Silverstein with like that singing and the screaming and the dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Because like their older sound, it had like more of that like raw feel, and now they're all the newer stuff is very kind of like clean and produced. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like both, but it just depends on what kind of mood you're in. I
think.
Yeah.
Just moving down the list. Do you have anything to say about Ultraviolet?
I don't.
Okay.
It wasn't a favorite song, but I never like skipped it.
That's like you said, it's a half hour long. Even if I wasn't the biggest fan, I think I just listened through it all just because it was kind of there.
I think overall the album's just like easy to listen to.
Yeah, easy to throw in the background. Just nice. Generally. You don't really have to pay attention to it all that much. Nice kind of background noise. So Cold Blood. My only comment about that is Will Ramos ruined Pins and Needles.
Oh, did they say Pins and Needles in there?
Yeah. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Oh, right there. Yeah.
So,
Pins and Needles. I would have loved for them to like, just over like go out. Man, if they would have gotten like Will Ramos to just do that,
Pins and needles, yeah.
it's so funny. Oh man,
Yeah, so
yeah.
Like that's my only thing because every time I heard it's a fairly good song, but every time I heard Pins and Needles, I just wanted it to be Will Ramos with the low to the high. Just
Yeah, Cold Blood was I put as one of my favorites, and really the only comment that I had is like songs like this. I tend to like slower. I put slower / medium choruses, like the speed.
okay.
Like I was mentioned about like one of the comments I had about like Origami Angels. They felt like they try to fit a lot of words in, you know.
Oh yeah.
And they're like really fast. It never really had like a medium speed like this. So this is like a good example of a chorus that I like that gives the lyrics and the melody like time to just be themselves rather than just try to fit so many words in, you know. So Cold Blood was my 3 favorites are actually, I think they're in a row here. Cold Blood, It's Over, and then Alter Mary, just like right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else about Cold Blood?
No.
Yeah. My only comment was like I couldn't. Not a bad song, but I couldn't get past Pins and Needles, and it just every
That's at the very
time-
beginning. You're like, oh man, no, I'm disappointed for the rest of the song.
because then they keep saying it over and over again, and you're just like,
You got to give it to me.
yeah,
once.
just come on, just give it to me once. Yeah, no, So It's Over.
Oh, yeah, It's Over. I liked the string melody at 42 seconds, the call and response of the strings and vocals.
42.
It was like da 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 da.
Okay,
Call and response.
That's cool. I think I remember like hearing that. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Anything else about it?
That is it.
I didn't really have anything. Except then the Alter Mary.
Yeah, Alter Mary.
Hard hitting intro, just like smack, especially after like all this stuff.
Yeah,
up front.
Play it again for me because I'm so used to just remembering the ending.
Oh. Like they do that whole like studio rawness for like, hey, okay, I'm gonna try this, and then just jump right into it. Yeah. So I got time markers at 56 seconds. The pop it, and I said I actually like this pop. Like it was just, I'm not the biggest. Like I can do with a little bit of like that rappy like vocals and stuff, but I'm not the biggest fan of like throwing actual like pop beats into like metal and rock. And I didn't have like a complaint about this. And then at
I think this was like one of the most interesting songs.
it's so dynamic.
Yeah.
And, all over the place.
Because we were filming React videos, and one of the videos was Indie Ghost, their new song Lace, and we were talking about how incorporating stuff like that, it worries Matt because you don't want it seems common for bands to like use that and to like have that take over more of their music rather than having like sprinkling it in. So I think this is a good example of like having it in one song and sprinkling it in and not letting it like just overtake the song.
Yeah, it's like 30-70. Like 30% pop and then 70 of like just good old fashioned rock and roll. But not old fashioned rock and roll. But yeah.
The phrase, just the words. Yeah.
So then 220 is another marker I have for this, which is I think where it goes into that like part 2 is kind of what I've described it as.
The Mary part.
Yeah. Yeah, because it cuts out and then it just
oh man.
It's so good. And then there's a Yeah, so it's coming up. In the lyrics it says, "I forgot what I needed, lost what I had," and that was just that's just something that hit me. So it's coming up here, and just like the way he says it, like the delivery is golden.
Yeah,
Like that drop at the end.
Yeah, where I love that when you can land on a note like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then my only other marker is at 3:33. There is the vocal. I don't know if you can see my note.
That's that keyboard thing I was talking about. Sounds like someone hitting that they can.
Yeah. So that was. I guess, yeah, so that was my only other note on that was
Yep.
I like that. Just on my notes, I just have an arrow going.
Like a stock.
Yeah, like a stock graph going up. Yeah. Yep, pretty much. I mean, that's all I have to say about this song.
Yeah, same here.
And then
I think my notes kind of stops there, because those songs were like the very beginning of the album, like first 6 were like the most, I felt like, noteworthy.
Yeah.
Although Misery, not a favorite song, but I do like the line at 132. I measure pain in milligrams.
Nice.
That was really clever. And then I put 3 because like remember I had an opinion about like ending an album on a ballad.
Yeah.
Right. So I put 302. The song should have exploded here, like in My Guardian Angel from Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. Remember how it gets like it's all acoustic.
320.
No, 303 or 302. So maybe like go to like 255 or something. Shoulda, but then
especially with those, I think an explosion of instruments with those vocals maybe bumped up a little bit because you got like that open space type rawness. I think that would have been
what it sounds like.
Or here,
right?
Or do that nice soft and then like here hit it a little bit heavier. Yeah,
and it does. I mean, it does get bigger like here with the heavenly sounds in the background. But in my opinion, I think it could have benefited from like a big, just like power chord. The whole band comes in.
Maybe another one of those.
Oh, the keyboard things.
Things. I don't know. My only other favorite. I don't know. Do you have anything else on Misery?
No.
Okay, my only other favorite was Bankrupt, and
4.66, almost 666 million others.
I know. I saw that and I was like, interesting. And
should we just click play like 80 more times and we get up to 4.666?
Right. So at 13 seconds, let it go on for a hot second. 13 seconds. It has like this awesome breakdown, like bend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember this.
And that carries through like all the different parts of the song.
I remember this one being kind of poppy too.
And it's like spots. Yeah.
Like right here.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of poppy. I think it's
bouncy.
Yeah, it's a little bouncy. But see, I didn't actually write down the things, but there's a couple lyrics that I enjoyed. They say the world is a cancer coming for you. Money talks, but time's going deaf. I like that. And then at 2:12, this is one of those like more lyric heavy, like heavy hitting type songs that I liked. So. And they go back to those bends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the people listening to on our Anchor or Spotify, he says everybody. It's easier. My handwriting sucks. Everybody's got a knife to their neck. If they're coming for them, they're gonna come for you next. nobody's life is worth as much as a check. They're going to sign it in blood with the tip of a bayonet. And then they just kind of do this bend, that guitar bend down at the end of that. And just, it sounds so good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I had to say about them. It's just, I liked those 3 parts, and I think that's what made it one of my favorites. And overall, pretty solid song.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you rate it?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
You never do.
I never do.
How about I go first?
You go first. Not that it's going to influence what I have to say. But
Sometimes it does, though.
Sometimes it does, because I'm like, you know what? You're not wrong.
Slightly. It sways it slightly.
Yeah.
By maybe like a half point or something. But I gave it an 8.
Okay.
I think like anything lower than that would make it sound too average for me, and it wasn't like
yeah.
Yeah, I was like my first listen through, I was inclined to give it like an 8.5.
Okay.
But as I listened to it more, I was like, yeah, I think it's solid 8, and kept my attention and had a great like first impression on me.
Okay.
So
7.
7.
Yep, that was the number I thought of before you opened your mouth and said 8, and then you kept talking. I was like, "You're trying to get me to do a 7.5. I'm not going to give it." And I just it wasn't bad. I would recommend it to people who I think would enjoy it, but it's not something that I'm going to like openly say. Like I feel so that for me, like the difference between a 7 and 8 would be like 7 is if somebody mentioned that they liked a band, I'm like, hey, okay, you know what? Hey, you checked out this band because they're similar to that. That'd be kind of like, I'm not going to like go out of my way to like say, you need to check this out. Right. Whereas an 8, I'm going to say like, if I know you like a particular type of music, even if we're not talking about music, I'm going to say, you need to listen to this album if you haven't listened to it yet. That's, I guess that's my deciding factor on between those 2 numbers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think 7. Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. Like 7, is like the lowest score I would give to recommend it to someone.
Okay.
You know,
I think I would recommend a 6 to the right person.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 to me is like a couple of shoulder shrugs.
Like if I feel like you rate, never know. That's next week's episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I already know what your score is. So, okay.
Okay.
8 from Jeff, 7 from Matt.
Yes. Are you ready for the Gami?
What was that fondue thing? Hold on, go back to that.
That's something completely different. We're not going to
Okay. Oh, yeah, I can see it on the exsanguinating fondue. Interesting. I'll have to ask you about that later. All right, so now on to Origami Angel, which is not really metal, although it had some moments, some like heavier moments in it. It's got like a blend of Matt liked it at first because it was kind of grindy at times. It's very like twinkly chords, like you found them because you said you were listening to Stars Hollow, which is like a math rock kind of shimmery sound, you know, real happy sounding, but then it can go into like some like pop punk, and then sometimes there's like some heavy chords in there, you know, so it's kind of not all over the place, but it just includes a lot.
Yeah, that's a really good. Yeah, so they're from Washington, D.C., and it says they excel in exploratory fusions of pop punk, filth wave emo.
Fifth wave.
Fifth?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I like filth, though. Fifth wave emo. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. I was going to look it up. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Dozens of other genres. It's a duo.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't learn that until today when I was looking it up.
What was it? Yeah, idiocentric style of lyricism, but also
idiosyncratic.
Yeah, you're right. Idiosyncratic. That's embarrassing. Learn to read. Idiosyncratic style of lyricism, but also their bottomless well of addictively unorthodox hooks. And I think that's honestly like a good example of why I listen to them, because they just write catchy hooks. Mammoth double album. That's correct.
It is mammoth-y.
With frizzy,
frenetic
interplay and choices as bold as they are exciting. Just reading their bio.
A lot of good salesmanship in this bio. This is what all bands need. Some bands are like, oh, we're from Sacramento. It's like, okay, use some words.
Yeah.
Use some words, sir.
Self-deprecating lyricism, which I didn't catch. This seemed fairly. There was a couple. There was a couple times.
Yeah,
like
I think generally it was happy sounding.
Yeah, but for example, what's the name of that? Neutrogena Spectre. He's like, I know what I look like. I'm not gonna.
I remember that line.
I know what I look like. I don't have like crystal clear skin or any of that.
Was that the one with something about acne?
Yeah.
Something about acne. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, acne free skin or something like that.
Looks better on. Doesn't look good on me, or looks better on me, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
They like clever lyrics and like very like punny song titles.
Yeah, Self-Destruct, Mobius Chicken Strip, No Offense. Mock Bike, Isopropyl Alchemy, You Won't, Neutrogena Spectre, Green Belt Station,
Bossa Nova Core.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's punny or not, but sounds interesting.
Yeah. Know You / Trust, Spoons Rattling, Tom Holland Oates. I love that name. Caught in the Moment, Dr. Von Doom, Bed Bath and Batman Beyond, Footloose, Cannonball Brothers, Blanket Statement, GG.
Yes, there are 20 songs on this album. And we just went through every single one of them.
Except for Gami.
Gami Gang. Yeah, Gami Gang which is the name. I don't know if we said that already, but name of the album is Gami Gang.
Yes.
And like today, for some reason, I just put it together that like Origami.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't put that together until earlier today, but yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, they had an interesting sound. A bit long for me. Like, I don't really want to listen to 20 songs.
Yeah.
I know, like, there were a good amount of them that were, like, really short-ish,
like
you know?
2 minutes, 2.5 minutes,
but
1.5 minutes.
Yeah, even then, it still felt very, like, chore-ish to listen through the whole thing.
What I found is, so I would listen to it on my way into work, and I would get somewhere in this area. I don't know, like Know You or something like that.
The normal length of like
a normal album. Yeah. And I would think I'd be done with the album, and then I just hit replay, and then I realized that I wasn't listening to half the album.
You're not even halfway done.
I wasn't even halfway done. I had to re-listen to the last half of the album, which I'm glad I did, because that was one of my favorite songs, is Tom Holland Oates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think my favorite was the one that you originally sent me, was Self-Destruct.
Self-Destruct.
Yeah. Self-Destruct, Mobius Chicken Strip.
Mobius Chicken Strip was good. I didn't put that as a favorite, but
I think those were my only two actual song favorites. And then there was like another moment in No Offense that I liked that reminded me of the Fall of Troy, because they did some like diddlies on the guitar, tapping and whatever.
Yeah.
So,
start with Self-Destruct then. That was one of my favorites. Unless you have something more about the generalization.
Yeah. I wrote this before I knew that you picked it, because you were listening to Stars Hollow. But one of my questions was, what drew Matt to these guys? Not something I'd expect him to pick.
Stars Hollow, and then I think it was in Self-Destruct. Yes. So not to get into it too much, but there's a spot that...
Go into it.
Okay, yeah. So Self-Destruct, one of my favorites. What do I got Poppy talking about real emotions. And then at 117, and this is what kind of like hit me, is, well, I mean, the intro is kind of grindy, but at 117, what I found really interesting is that they had those sour notes, but they took away all of the distortion. So you have like this not all the distortion, but like it's very light, and this is like typical like grindcore rhythm, and you should be hearing like and it's just kind of nice, clean vocals over top. And I think I sent it to you. I said like, is this Angel core or something like that, or is like, or is it like the definition of Swan core? Like it's just like, because they have like that.
I like that Angel core.
Because it's just like soft, but then they're like hitting you with like these sour notes, but they're like pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, making just something that should probably clash. I think it would be hard to sing over that because you would want to like follow those notes, but he doesn't.
No, that's part of the talent, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the flow of this song. And then there's a lyric where he says, "So I lay down on the floor and think about how you say my name." That is nice. Just like, you ever just like, it's kind of like looking up at the stars and like just losing thought. But like that one thought is how this person says his name. I don't know. I liked it. And then at 2 minutes, there's keyboards. I don't remember what about the keyboards. I just put down keyboards.
Oh, I like that part too.
Yeah.
That kind of makes you think of like outer space and stars too.
Yeah.
Makes me think of it.
Yep. I can dig it.
Yeah, I put that like the synth during chorus. And then, at the very end, Anakin, "This is where the fun begins" from Star Wars. Did you catch that? I like that.
I know they used a lot of...
This is where the fun begins.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was trying to figure out where that was from. I was like, I've heard of it before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is where the fun begins. Mobius Chicken Strip has some math rock riffs as the intro, or like twinkly, like tappy things.
Oh, that do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Not this part, but right there.
Yeah.
And then he kind of expands upon that towards the beginning of the song. I like at 1:38. So grab your Game Boy and get in the car.
Yeah.
Like, where else would you? What other band would do that? It would sing about like a Game Boy. It just got me nostalgic.
Get in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't the... No, that's the next song.
So I like that. Singing about Game Boys got me nostalgic.
Yeah.
And then, I put riff chords have like a grunge feel.
Where?
Maybe.
Yeah. You find it.
Search for it.
There?
Maybe at the beginning. Sorry, this is annoying for anybody who's listening. But... No, maybe I meant a different song. That part, maybe?
Maybe? That little down.
I think that's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay. So like 48 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, just briefly.
Yeah, ever so slightly.
Yeah. Because I've been kind of getting into heavy shoegaze, post shoegaze or something like that, and they kind of use those types of chords, and or like
you've sent me some of that
post grunge or like heavy grunge shoegaze or something. It was a whole playlist, but it felt like that. It's been feeling like that. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, and then since these are all in the row, 135 on No Offense. It felt like Fall of Troy to me, because Fall of Troy does a lot of those like hammer on pull off riffy things.
Back up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of jazzy there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Is this the one that I was... Oh yeah, I like the lyrics. So I didn't actually write this down, but I like the lyrics on this. So it's talking about like how you have like Jehovah's Witnesses coming up, and he's like having dinner with his girl or something, and it says so I'll answer the door to politely and do my best to tell him off. So I say, hey, now it's a little too late for me to change now. And even if you showed me the way how, I don't have time tonight. They come knocking at your doors and they know exactly when they get you. They keep telling me about heaven and it sounds a lot like when I'm with you. I was like, oof. Yeah, tell me about heaven because I already have it. That's pretty much what he said. And I don't know, I like that. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
Cute.
That, like you said, there was a jazzy moment in there. I kind of got, you don't have to look it up, but it like on Bossa Nova Core, I kind of got that, like, it was like a 50s feel or something to it. Like, what do they call that? Like a sock hop dance or something towards, I don't think I have a timestamp. Right here.
This?
Yeah. That was kind of...
It's kind of sock hoppy. I would almost like swing dance to this, yeah.
So this band has a lot of moments like that where it's like, oh, let me borrow from that genre, and kind of squish it all together.
That's what they said they do. Just take from genres.
Oh, from the bio.
In the bio, yeah. They're like, endless genres.
Yeah, all the genres.
All of them. Yeah, what genre are you? Yes.
We are a Gami gang.
Exactly. Mock Bike for me was my second favorite, and I think this was just one where I liked the lyrics. So at 1:38, boop-a-doop-a-doo. Yeah, so stop wasting all your time on things that you don't want to do. And that's like something that I just recently started doing because I would work, 55, 60 hours a week for the longest time. And then just recently, I just like, I don't want to do that anymore. So I've been doing like my bare minimum of like 48 hours that I'm supposed to do. And it's like,
you had a choice? You can choose?
Well, now we can at work, with our new schedule. But it's just something that like, there's always the option for overtime for me. And even like this Friday, I was like, I might go in. And then I just chose not to. And I felt so much better not doing it. Like, because I didn't want to do it. I just...
You need like not you, but just in general, people need like a mental health break. And it feels good. Even just like another day or an extra couple hours off. And you're like, man, I need that to recharge.
That's exactly what I needed. Yeah. So that was just something that I recently have like latched onto, I guess. And so it's cool to like hear that. But anyways, and then at the end there's like screams at the end, which kind of like goes into that whole like metal. You hear right in the background.
Yeah. Real subtle.
Yeah. There's another song where they did like a really good scream. I can't remember what it was called.
The only other note that I have for just the album in general is I like the groove change at 246 on Isopropyl Alchemy.
246.
Yeah. I think it got really fast or something. So maybe do 240 and you can hear what it sounds like going into it.
Okay. Chill.
Like a 3, like a waltzy feel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just like picks up. That's cool. Okay. My only other favorite, Tom Holland Oates. So at 35 seconds, I have nice vocal beat. That's one thing I really like about this band is they, like, vocally are just poppy. It, like, I don't know how he does that. It's just so, like, kind of just beep bop beep boop boop bop. You know, not saying he's a robot, but like it's just he's so like poppy and like jumps around all the time, and it's interesting to listen to.
I bet he would be interesting just to watch live.
Yeah,
he's doing all this and singing.
Yeah, I wonder how they do that if they do live stuff.
Their Spotify bio picture was live.
Oh yeah, I wonder how they do that though with two people.
Same way they record it. What do you mean?
I don't like. There's more than just like two people doing stuff though. Like they record over stuff. Well, I guess they just take tracks of things. I guess and play along with the track. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's live. It's supposed to be different, right?
Yeah, I guess. You're right. So then I have a question. At 1:38, is there a key change in the song? I'm gonna test you. We were just talking about your audio classes in college.
Oh yeah.
And like, hey. But yeah, so I'll start at 1:30, so you have like 8 seconds to get. No.
I didn't react, so I don't think so.
It's like right here, right there. No, that's not a key change.
No.
It just sounded not off, but it sounded different because he does that.
Maybe they are in the same key, but made you pay attention to like normally like say you're in like say like C major, right?
Yeah.
C is the
center note.
Is the See, I told you I can't remember anything.
The major note.
The
C major is the major note.
Is the do, right? Do re mi.
Yeah,
it's the do. Maybe they made you pay attention to whatever that chord was that they landed on was still the same key, but like they wanted you to land on that one to make it feel like it was in the same key, but now they want you to focus on like the dominant, which is like the fifth or the fourth note or whatever.
All right.
Something like that. That's what it felt like.
I don't know, because it was play one more time.
Yeah. Or maybe they were on the 5 and then they landed down. That sounds like a 5 to 1.
Yeah, so that's what it
dominant to the tonic. That's what it is.
That's what that's what got me. It was like went do 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 do
do do.
Yeah.
Do.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if it was like a key change or anything like that. But
No,
I was like,
I wouldn't say so.
I said that's interesting. And then my only note is 2 minutes breakdown. See, we're back in the metal.
Yeah.
Like it just very basic, but
Their version.
Very, very basic, but I was like, yeah, this is nice.
That has the same kind of grungy shoegaze feel that I was feeling earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also have some weird stuff going on
Like
in the background.
ambient.
Symbiotic.
And they go with this like nice pretty stuff and then back into the pop. Yeah. But yeah, so that's really all I had to say about them.
Yeah, me too. I have to double check what my score was. Oh, I didn't write it down. I think my score was a 7.
Okay, I
think that's
funny because mine's flipped. It's an 8.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. No, I really, although it is long, I don't think there was necessarily a song that I wanted to skip. Like how do you put this? Granted, yes, I missed like half the album for the first 2 days of listening to it because I didn't realize it wasn't over yet. There wasn't really like a bad song To me, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your favorites, but none of them were bad. And to have 20 songs, well, 19 because the intro is just kind of an intro.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy to show how well they can just fabricate and write music.
Mm-hmm. And if you're feeling the inspiration to write that many songs, like go for it.
Yeah.
Don't suppress it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think like my biggest thing was, like you said, there wasn't like a bad song in the album, but I just kind of felt like listening to it in its entirety, I started to get a little anxious once it started getting into the past, like the normal length of what an album normally is.
Yeah.
I just felt a little antsy. So maybe if I had taken a break or something, but I don't really do that.
Like one day listen to half of it, the other day listen to another half.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I try not to over like when we do our album, when we do our reviews for these albums, rarely will I listen to any album more than like 3 times. Any album, like even
we are
ones
the
that I
exact opposite.
Really, yeah. Because like I'll go even if it's music I really like, I'll go crazy if that's the only thing I'm listening to the entire week.
I'll murder it. Like I'll listen to it like 10 times.
I've never done that for any album that we've done. I've never done that.
Yeah,
so
I think
far
on
in the
average,
last year.
On average, it'll be like 6 to 10 times, depending on how much time I have.
I need breaks in between. Like
I still listen to other stuff.
What? Wait, what?
I still listen to other stuff.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I mean, like meaning, yeah, like I'll listen to, say, on Monday, and then I might not listen to. Then I'll like listen to Silverstein on like Wednesday, and then like maybe Thursday, and I try to space it out.
Okay.
I listen to more other music than I do the albums for the week, because I don't want to overdo it and then like start to hate it.
No, I always stop before I get there.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
And this is our 50th episode.
Wow.
The big 50.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You feel like we've gotten any better?
I think so.
Yeah.
More direct to the point.
Yeah. Not kind of I mean, we still have our tangents kind of like right now.
I mean,
but
that's okay.
It's our show. We can do it, right?
We can do whatever we want. You can turn it off if you don't like it.
People
have. Go ahead.
This is for us.
Yeah, this is for us. We even said like we just like talking about music.
Yeah. So if you want to join us, you can join us.
Yeah.
But
if not, you're wrong. But
But people are allowed to be wrong, is what I'm told.
Apparently.
Okay, that's enough being cocky, I guess. No, we appreciate anybody that listens to us.
And our muscles are big.
His. All right.
Anyway. Yeah. So pretty solid week for music.
8, 7, 8, 7, 8.
8, 7, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a reminder that we have some more React videos coming out. This episode will also be uploaded to YouTube. You can watch and like listen along to all the spots that we were talking about. And you can hear me annoyingly skip through that one song trying to find the one spot I was looking for like 3 seconds. And then
it was more than 3 seconds.
No, I mean the one spot that I wanted to hear was
only 3 seconds.
It only lasted 3 seconds, yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah. So thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys in the next. I almost said book review video because I'm so used to ending my videos that way because I have another YouTube channel.
The next Bleghcast.
The next Bleghcast episode. See you later.
Bully.